this is Access TV welcomes you to the grand opening of Maison Chic's second location here at the Arden Emirates Plaza on Arden Road. I'm your host, Amita Prasadwe. Please stay tuned for highlights. So it's Maison Chic's second store launch tonight. What are your thoughts?
It's good because a lot of time I'm up this side and it's difficult for me to go all the way down that side to get something, so I can just come right here and run over to 212. That's my favorite.
That's your favorite?
That's my favorite. All the time.
So you're a past customer. Talk to me about your experience shopping at Maison Chic.
Oh, it's very easy because I'm not so big on fragrance. So when I enter the store, I'm like, what is it that I want? And somebody just comes over and like, okay, may I help you? What is it that you're looking for? Is it for an event? Or you just want something for like when you're going on the road? And they just help me from there and I'm good.
But wouldn't you want to smell the same for an event or if you're going on the road?
No, that's why I always choose two. One for the regular outing and one for an event. Yeah, because you know when you go to an event, your cologne have your kick like Jackie Chan.
Oh,
It have a kick.
So welcome one and all. This is the official launch of Maison Chic 2. Did you hear what I said? This is the official launch of Maison Chic 2. Maison Chic first opened its doors at the mini mall of Tropical Plaza, and now we're here at Arden Emirates, and this is our second location. We are a fragrance store that takes pride in providing our guests with the utmost respect, the utmost customer service that you can find anywhere. And don't forget that we are also licensed to bring all the brands that we carry. So we have brands like Carolina Herrera, Paco Rabanne, which like these are like top brands from right around the world, right? And our tagline is explore your outer senses and unleash yourself. This explains perfectly what we do and the experience that we bring to all our guests. Every single one is important. So whether it be that you purchase a fragrance that costs $2,000 or you purchase a fragrance that costs $80,000, it doesn't really matter to us. Just as long as you're supporting us, you deserve the best and the best customer service from right around the world, right across the board. For us, we always say in the fragrance world that fragrance is the ultimate accessory. So when you're smelling good, people tend to sometimes forget what you look like, right? Am I right? Yeah, everybody can testify to this. And in our culture now, as Jamaicans, we have realized that even our entertainers are bringing this to light. So everybody is singing about what they're wearing, and everybody wants to smell hot, and everybody wants to smell sexy. So, it's a very important thing. It's very important to what we do every day, like to keep yourself clean and to smell nice and to smell sexy is everybody's wish. And right now, I just want to say thank you to everyone that has come out tonight because this is a very important venture. We have struggled to help persons to understand that, hey, this is where we need to be. Like, you need to walk into a store and before you can even say hello, like customers are, or attendants are greeting you. We have the best trained attendants right across the board. Like when I say best trained, like, can I hear some hello? All right, so right now I'm gonna introduce all our fragrance consultants. Come on guys, come on, don't be shy. This is our team, and I'm proud to say that all of us here, we take pride in doing what we do. And it's all for you. And I want you to know my staff like by name. So from the end here, we have this is a very important night for Samantha because she actually manages this branch. So right here you have Samantha. And you have Celine. And from the staff of Maison Chic 1, that's in Tropical Plaza, We have Cindy. And everybody know me, Pat Marie. And we have the ever so lovely, the girls them sugar digging. And we also have our newest edition, Ches. Give it up for Ches, everybody. So, with all that being said, I'm looking forward for everyone to continue supporting us. And this is a very important part of our program this evening. Now, everybody owns a smartphone. Now, I need y'all to take out your smartphones, please, right this moment. Yeah, it's already out. Now, y'all gonna go to Instagram. And it's at MAISONCHIC_JA. Right? Everybody has done that? Yeah, I see some people doing it. Thank you very much. Now follow us. Come to the store. Take pictures. Come and test. Because, guys, we provide testers for all our fragrances. So come and test. Don't be shy. It's a new age, people. And Maison Chic is bringing Jamaica to life with fragrances. Can I get an amen? Yeah. And, you know, we couldn't have such a great store without having great distributors, right? Yeah, so the people that take care of us, make sure we have the samples, make sure we have the gifts. And right now, I'm gonna call to she's so smiling, I love her. We're gonna call to speak to us now, Marie, and she's our representative from Eurobrands.
Thank you, darling. Hi, good evening, everyone. Hola. Very special welcome to the Panamanian Ambassador, the Panamanian Chief of Mission, and Mrs. Barrow. I am extremely pleased to have you guys here. Of course, you might, and all of you special guests invited. Guys, you know, it is very important for us to highlight how significant is in Jamaica to have a second branch for one of our clients. Maison Chic came to us maybe 2 years ago, but we have been in business for the past 6 years. You might be wondering what Eurobrands does. We have the license for brands such as Carolina Herrera, Paco Rabanne, Valentino, Nina Ricci, Antonio Banderas, Shakira, United Dreams, Jean Paul, Versace, and many. Trust me, our inventory is crazy. So you don't want to go in there. But what is important is I want you to realize that I did say license. What that means, you're probably wondering, do you need licenses to sell perfumes in Jamaica? You need license to sell perfumes, and I'm gonna tell you why. You wouldn't be able to enjoy that wonderful after work kind of, you know, we give you that value added that other companies, of course, cannot do. We not only give you the testers, but we are also empowering our staff. We give value added products, such as training for all the staff. And the reason why Maison Chic has the best training in the world is because we offer. We do that through our suppliers. Ana Maria Libertini is here from one of our suppliers, which is our main supplier. And we are very proud to have her here all the way. One of the things that I want you guys to realize is that all these efforts cannot be done without the team. Of course, my team is really busy tonight, and they're selling fragrances to all our clients, but I have Samantha here that is in charge of our marketing department. Anna is also here, that is our newest member of staff, and is in the administration department. One of the things that I want you guys to realize is that without the importance of the Jamaican market, we wouldn't be here. It is amazing for us to be able to see our clients prosper. So if any of you want to sell fragrances, so you know where to go. If you want to have it done well done. One of the things that I always say to my clients is, if it looks good, if it smells good, if it's good, we have it. If we don't have it, we are working on the license. And if we are not working on the license, it's because we don't think it will make sense in Jamaica. We are the best in the system right here. We are the best in the market.
Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to have you here. Working at Maison Chic, it has been really great. The family base, they have been really welcoming, not to mention the clients that we have catered to and the friends that we have made. So some of our, clients, they have become our friends. So with that said, I would like you to celebrate with me new beginnings.
Maison Chic 2!
So guys, now for the important aspect of it. Now for the first part, you can go.
Don't be pull another one, another one. Your eyes, they all over me. Don't be shy, take a stroke of me, get the vibe. It's gonna be lit tonight. No lie, not twice, pull another one. It's alright, I know what you want. The vibe's gonna be lit tonight. No lie, no lie,
So you're the new manager for the second location here. Talk to me about that.
All right, well, it has been really, really great working here. I'm kind of the quiet person, shy, and working here, it has forced me to come out of my shell to interact. And trust me, we have some lovely clients that we work with. The customer base here, well, not the customer base, but the staff here at Maison Chic, both at Maison Chic Emirates and at the other location, the first location, we have quite a different variety of characteristics. We have Patrice, who is very animatic. So, she's fun, she's courageous. We have Hubert, we have Celine, we have myself, we have Cindy, and newly we have Ches. So, it has been a great family base.
Talk to me about the fragrances you have available here tonight and what's so special about this fragrance store compared to another one.
Well, all right. So we have fragrances that are top of the line. So we have Carolina Herrera, we have Valentino, we have Jimmy Choo. And not just that, but what separates us from a lot of different stores is that we do it by law. We do it officially. So we obtain license. So when persons come to purchase and we tell them, say, oh, we have to have the license to carry a specific fragrance. So if you don't see it, it's because we don't have that license. They're like, oh, really? You have to have a license? So that's what separates us. Not to mention the customer service. Like, persons commend us on our customer service. So that sets us apart. Customer service, it's everything, and it's not everyone that can, put on a good show, who can stand, and if someone is being mean or if someone's just having a bad day, you don't, just take their energy and just give it back to them, but really take their energy and, give them a positive vibes. So that's what differentiates us.
You're a customer here at Maison Chic. Talk to me about your favorite fragrance.
Well, there are two of them here. First one for the designer would be Paco Rabanne Invictus, and that would be the Intense. And the second one would be from Bond Number 9, it would be Center of Peace.
It's their second store. How does that make it easier for you to shop?
Well, I work right around the road, so I can just simply come by during my lunchtime if I feel the need to. However, I normally feel welcome in the Tropical Mall itself.
What's so special about their service here?
Customer service, you have to be big on customer service for you to attract certain customers, and that is one thing that they have captured. They have managed to capture customer service because it's very warm, very friendly, and believe you me, they are very experienced. They are knowledgeable about the fragrances as well.
Talk to me about your experience so far.
So far, it's been a wonderful experience. I've been enjoying every moment of this because it's something new, but I've been selling fragrance since I've arrived here, but it's easy because we actually study the fragrances that we sell, so we know what we are giving to the customers. So at the end of the day, we always please their wants and needs that they come to us about. So basically I've been here for 2.5 to 3 weeks right now, and I've been savoring every moment.
How was the training?
Well, the training has been very educational. Yes, so they have been training us in ways that I didn't know that my nose could have reached those levels. I didn't know my nose had those skills because we have been learning new things.
Why should people come out to the shop location here on Arden Road or the one in Tropical Plaza?
Tropical is kind of a more established branch, but Arden has a lot of fragrances that maybe you will not find at Tropical right now, but it's a nice branch to come because they have varieties. And it's a new place, so they want it to be as much as Tropical itself because people actually know Tropical already. So basically it's a new experience, but it's similar to Tropical because the customer service is still warm and inviting as in Tropical. So it's a great place to come.
Thanks for joining us here at Maison Chic's second store opening right here in Arden Emirates Plaza. I've been your host, Amita Pasadweb, and you're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
Caring Hands Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers, right? So, I mean, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The little leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's Season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
There's only one recommendation for funding that is ever going to come from me, and that is funding from a bank.
This is the cost to build, and it includes every nail and screw for the building.
Our motto is building communities, building a nation.
Get in the know with the world of real estate with Business Access TV's Home Sweet Home, Sundays at 4:30 p.m.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com. It's arguably the most significant invention to come out of Jamaica in the last 2 decades. A medical doctor, a mechanical engineer, and a computer scientist used technology to develop a way to train heart surgeons across the globe more efficiently. The heart simulator developed at the UWI-Mona is now being used by several universities across the world to train surgeons. Professor Daniel Kaur, who worked on the project, says after shelving the first prototype and moving on to other projects, he and the other inventors involved received a call that would change everything.
So in late 2007, we hear from Dr. Richard Fines, who was at the time chairman of the American Board of Thoracic Surgery. He had seen a video that had been released along with a paper that we had published. And in the video, we were just showing a small clip of what the heart looked like while, in operation, in use. And he wrote to Dr. Ramphal, basically did a little internet search, tried to find him, sort of located an email address for him at UA, by which time he had already left UA, and wrote him and said, I saw this video, is it real? Because if that's real, I'd love to come to UA to see it, and would you be willing to set it up for us, because we are examining possible simulation environment scenarios for the cardiac surgery training, and this is something that we would like to sort of take a look at just to see what it can do and whether it's good for us.
After some persuasion, the team decided to go to the University of North Carolina to set up the prototype.
First time set up, right? So all these prominent heart surgeons had just come in to take a look at what's going on, and everybody was kind of blown away at just how realistic the heart beating was, and how realistic the whole environment was. So they took out the video footage and took that to their annual meeting that year at the Society of Thoracic Surgeons. And with that video at that meeting, just sort of, caught the eye of everybody who was at that symposium that year. And that ended up getting us invited to technology symposium for cardiothoracic surgery. And we got re-invited year after year.
Soon after that, the UA Mona developed heart simulator was a sought-after tool when it came to training heart surgeons.
It then got to a point where other places wanted one. They kept saying, how can we get one of these at our institution? So it was kind of around that time, that was started around 2009, that we started talking about how to get multiple ones of these. And by around 2011, we'd actually built them. So in that interim, we had negotiations, sort of thought about how to sort of make it a little more structured and sort of help ourselves get to the point where we could be talking to people who might want a license.
The simulator then ended up in some of the top medical schools in North America, revolutionizing the way heart surgeons were being trained.
Harvard's Mass General Hospital, University of Rochester, there was a University of North Carolina, Johns Hopkins, Vanderbilt, Mayo Clinic, University of Washington, and Stanford.
This was the first time ever heart surgeons in training were being exposed to real-life circumstances.
Kind of what I mentioned before, where you might have the pig's heart in a bowl, or I suppose if you're working with a cadaver, which is going to be realistic, but it's a dead person, but nothing where the heart is, or actually a live pig. That is the closest that you could come if you wanted to get a full-blown operating room scenario where you are standing around, there's a apparently living, beating heart, and you have to give the right instructions, and you have somebody controlling a pump, somebody controlling anesthesia, and then you have your partner in front of you, you're supposed to be giving the right instructions, and you're learning not just the specific procedures, but also the management of your team. The only way you could really reconstruct that without having a real patient on the table was a live pig. That was the closest you could come. So what our simulator was providing these guys with was a context in which they could reconstruct any scenario they wanted, when they wanted, at the time they wanted. So from the purpose of teaching, if today's lesson was to teach you something that hardly ever happened, they could make sure it's scheduled what's going to happen because you set the simulator up to deliver that. So for them, that was a great opportunity to change how training in cardiac surgery could work, right? And at the same time, you're getting this high fidelity model, right? So you're not putting any patients at risk. You have this model that looks real. It bleeds when you cut it. It has a pressure. It shows you a computer trace that looks like it's a real trace on a monitor. So for all intents and purposes, just because you set it up, it's not real. But for all intents and purposes, it looks like a patient on the table.
The heart simulator has not only used technology to totally revolutionize the way heart surgeons are trained, but it is also helping to better equip surgeons to deal with real-life situations in real time.
There are some well-rehearsed procedures, as in over time, they've developed some procedures to respond to a particular kind of emergency. But if you as a resident only get trained via the operating room, then the only scenarios that you become familiar with are the ones that you see. Now, of course, if you see 100 cases, 200 cases, then they start thinking, okay, you're ready, you're competent, you can go, and you are going to be certified as capable of practice on your own. But what if the scenario that we're worried about isn't one that occurs so frequently? It might be 1 in 1,000 cases, it might be 1 in 2,000 cases. Those are still potentially life-threatening. You still want somebody who's gonna now become an attending to know how to deal with them. And in the old situation, before our simulator, the only way they would have really gotten that exposure is through a textbook or somebody telling them, if you ever encounter this is what you're supposed to do. So it's kind of a hypothetical, and the response is really a kind of theoretical response, or it's a hypothetical one anyway. With a simulator, we can now say, okay, next week's lesson going to be how you deal with this. And I can tell you what you must do, and I can set up the simulator to make that emergency occur. So while you're doing your thing, suddenly something happens and you say, what's going on? And it's for you to A, recognize that there's that emergency going on, and then B, act appropriately. So you can actually now practice that, which is not something that you could have done easier before.
The heart simulator is the first UE patent to be commercialized, and with the recent commitment from Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark to pump more government resources into research and development, it is hoped that more patented inventions coming out of the University of the West Indies can be commercialized.
Sundays at 4:30 p.m. It's all about Home Sweet Home. Get your half-hour dose of the business of real estate, from laws and concepts to reality, building, buying, or renting. Or what about trends in decor or renovations? Home Sweet Home will keep you up to date.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Hey, what up, you guys? It's your girl, Vivica Fox, and you are watching Business Access.
Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I am Theodore Henry. This week we have an interesting show just for you as we take you on a journey upstream to learn a bit more about one of the island's largest wetland areas. But before we get to all that, we'll be discussing matters relating to public safety and public order. You don't want to miss a minute, so stay tuned.
Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it.
No dash no paper, no dash no plastic. Dispose your garbage responsibly. No know how to recycle, learn it quick. And if you drop it, better pick up every piece of it. Plastics last forever, don't forget the bits. Cause when them touch the street, them end up in the sea. Collect pan the reef where they fish them feed. And when you want seafood, I eat your
Keep
eat.
the island clean, so clean. From the beach to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. No dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica.
Citizen safety is important, especially on our roadways. Today we are joined by Superintendent of Police Gary Mackenzie as he discusses the measures being implemented to help curb indiscipline on our roadways.
Welcome to Get the Facts, the program that provides you with information on government's policies and initiatives. I'm your host, Enthros Campbell. The Jamaica Constabulary Force, the JCF, 1 year ago launched the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEB. Now, the objective is to improve the safety of citizens as well as restore and to maintain public order. To tell us about the measures being used to curb the indiscipline on our roads and in the public spaces in general is Gary Mackenzie, who is Superintendent of Police in the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch. SP Mackenzie, thank you so much for joining us and Get the Facts.
Thank you for having me. Good day.
So that's a big title that your department has, your branch. Tell us, what do you mean by public order and safety? What are we talking about here?
Well, what we are talking about as we speak about safety is it is all encompassing because it says that we are responsible to ensure that citizens are able to go about their business safely. That is, we have to ensure that they come to no harm. And the branch itself looks at dealing with this on the roadways within business districts, within other public areas such as transportation hubs and so on. As it relates to order, this has to be done within an organized way. And so in terms of managing traffic flow, in terms of ensuring that their citizens come to no harm whilst they do their business, that is what we are about.
Excellent. So tell me about some of the measures that you use to achieve order and safety.
Well, certainly enforcement plays a big role, but even before we do that, ensuring that we are out there being visible, putting on this management posture and ensuring that persons recognize what we are about is very important. And this, of course, increase the confidence that the public will have as it relates to how we police. Once things are not in order, then we have to take control, we have to educate, we have to enforce the laws where necessary to ensure that this is maintained.
How do you educate?
Well, certainly we do that through media. We do that through collaboration with other entities. We have our road safety unit that goes within schools. We also go within communities. Of course, we collaborate with other geographic entities or widely publicized meetings, stakeholder meetings, and so on. So we educate persons through those media.
What are some of the violations that pedestrians, people general in open spaces and on the road, what are some of the violations that people can be ticketed for?
Well, as it relates to pedestrians, we really can't take any, law enforcement action in terms of issuance of tickets. But what we find is that we have quite a few accidents involving pedestrians because of lack of proper usage on our roads, meaning that they sometimes cross at corners in front and behind large vehicles. And so education is key in terms of ensuring that our pedestrians understand how to use the road safely. There are other breaches committed by drivers of motor vehicles in that they fail to observe and stop at pedestrian crossings. Some are very discourteous, and so where they commit breaches, we prosecute. For example, if they fail to observe and stop at a pedestrian crossing, that is an offense, and we deal with that. But our vigilance and enforcement helps to ensure that persons are able to safely use our thoroughfare.
Yes, yes. When PSEB was launched last August, it was National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang said that you had a few roles that he wanted you to zero in, such as limiting access to roadways of criminals, also to cut down road accidents and track the threat of criminals. How is that going? How do you grade yourself on those
Well, I think that we
areas?
have had a substantial effect, certainly within the Kingston and region. We have been able to occupy our main supply routes, and by virtue of our presence, and when we speak about presence, we speak of active presence. So our vehicular checkpoints, our patrol of the areas, our checking of documents and licenses, running it through our police emergency to check for warrants, to check if these persons are wanted, have allowed us to deter the movement of criminals. We continue to do that. Of course, it is very important to note that at PSTEB, there are a number of strategies that we use, and that, of course, includes our motorcycle patrols, that we deal with traffic management, interception of vehicles. We also have our foot patrols within the public spaces, such as the business districts. We have our highway safety patrols, and we have our bicycle patrols as well to go in and out.
You still have
of
bicycle
those.
patrols? I'm not seeing those.
We do,
Yes.
and so we continue to use those methodologies to support and assist within our very tight areas in terms of where the public traverse.
You did say something about major supply routes. What are
Right.
those?
Well, those routes are really our main arterial roads where we have commercial activities, we have the movement of buses and so on. So these routes are very important to us as a country because they traffic vehicles that carry supplies in and out of the corporate area and across the country. Criminals like to use speed to move about and so on. So we slow them down this way, and we continue to use other strategies to ensure that persons are safe.
Okay, unruly drivers, illegal taxi drivers, illegal stopping, illegal starting. What methods are you using to address these issues?
Well, there are a multiplicity of methods that we use. One is that our presence out there deters some of them. We also enforce. We have to, of course, send the message across through education. But I want to say that in recent times, we have been getting some very good help from the public in terms of taking photos of some of these persons, because you know that as much as we like, we can't be on every street, but certainly it gives us the ability to be proactive as well. So the areas that we know that those offenses, there is a greater probability of them occurring there, then it assists us in informing us as to where we ought to place persons and so on. We try to be fluid, and we try to ensure that we listen to citizens. So we are always grateful of the feedback, of the suggestions, and we listen to those and we act as well.
Right. How can we give you feedback? Where do we send the feedback? Where do we call?
Well, the feedback can come through police emergency. It can also come to PSTEB headquarters at 928-1162. It can also go through the media houses. They have our contacts and they will get those messages to us.
Excellent, excellent. We take a break now and continue with a focus on the capacity of PSTEB to carry out its duties. Stay with us.
The following is brought to you by MOCA, the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency, with kind support of NIA and USAID.
criminal minds think they are cunning. The major organized crime and anti-corruption agency have them running. Your friend a shout, come scam. Take time running, are we ready for the ops? Drive up on your block, step out now we black, cyber take away your laptop. Pull up every lock, no evidence a drop. We put it in a cuffs and now we have the under. From you say scam, you better look out fit. When you move corrupt, better look out fit. Please say you get wet, look out fit. Look out fit, look out fit. From you say scam, you better look out fit. When you move corrupt, better look out fit. Please say you get wet, look out fit. Look out fit, look out fit.
The proceeding was brought to you by MOCA, the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency with the kind support of NIA and USAID.
Welcome back to Get the Facts. We continue our discussion with Superintendent of Police Gary McKenzie of the Public Safety Anti-Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEP. Thank you for staying with us. SP McKenzie, PSTEP recently got 80 motorbikes. How will this help in your operations?
Well, certainly this will greatly enhance our visibility. We will also be strategically placing them across areas where we term bad spots. These are areas where we have had fatal accidents occurring. We will also utilize them to enhance our ability to further deter the movement of criminals and to ensure that persons traversing our public thoroughfares are safe.
Yes. You started with 700 members. How is that? How effective is that? And do you need more persons? And will you get more persons?
Well, we ensure that whatever numbers we have, we utilize them effectively. Sometimes it is not just about the numbers, but it is how effective you actually use them. That is one of the things that we continue to work on daily. As you are aware, there are a number of areas, there are a number of issues that we have to deal with. And so we prioritize and we judiciously place them to ensure that we get the best fit so that the public will see the benefits of it.
Yes. Your officers are specially trained, right? Can you tell us a little about that, the training?
Well, they have been trained in traffic management. They have been trained in terms of identifying offenses and so on. One of the things they are also trained on is traffic surveillance and road safety issues. And so we also have several other units. For example, there is the Accident Investigation and Reconstruction Unit that uses scientific methodology to reconstruct accidents and give technical evidence in court. We have the breathalyzer unit, we have the road safety unit, we have also our data and traffic ticketing department. So all of that come together, plus the officers who are out there on the streets doing highway patrols, motorcycle patrols, bicycle patrols, and so on. So it is pretty much a comprehensive branch.
Yes. As you talk about ticketing, there is complaint sometimes that sometimes I get a ticket and I go to court. I didn't go to pay at the tax office, but I go to court. And when I go to court, the cost on the ticket is a lot more than it was initially. What would be the reason for that?
Well, when one gets a ticket, there's an option to pay or go to court. There is a set fine when a traffic ticket is issued. Once you get to court, that is handled by the judge. And from what I know, there is a range in terms of what can be charged and so on. So that's where the difference is.
Right. So if you don't pay the ticket at the tax office and you go to court, you should be paying the same amount if you're found guilty.
Well, that of course is determined by the judge. As I say, there's a range in terms of the fines, high and the low, depending on what the discussion is at the court. Then that decision is made by the judge.
Yes. Let's talk a little bit more about public safety and PSTEB's initiatives.
Well, certainly PSTEB, as was said earlier, is a branch that deals with public safety and of course public order. And so when we talk about public safety, the branch has a wide reach. It started out within the corporate area, but it is seeking to expand across the entire country. And Of course, we have to ensure that persons are not only safe in terms of moving from one place to another, but there are also issues of ensuring that they come to no harm. And so our highway patrol, it is one of our versatile patrols because it deals with high visibility, ensuring that persons are confident that the police is there and they are able to access them, but also to prevent and detect criminal activity, as also to ensure that there are no blockage or where the road traffic laws are breached, actions are taken. So we are responsible for that. On the other hand, the issue of public order, especially within our townships and business districts, vendor management is one aspect. We have to work along with other agencies to see, to actually look after infrastructure building. When you look, for example, at Halfway Tree in terms of accommodating the number of taxis and buses and so on, we have to plan and move ahead to ensure
Yes.
that as we go along, there's this organization that will help us to see an orderly society.
It is a difficult job, isn't it?
Well, it is.
Tell me, how do you see your branch, the JCF and PSTEB, how do you see your role in helping Jamaica to maintain an orderly society, thus fostering an environment for growth?
Well, it is a very important entity. In fact, we would regard it as the flagship as it relates to interfacing with the public and actually giving the public the confidence that the police is out there. When you look at their dress and so on, they are bright, they are out there, they are expected to be seen, they are expected to be active, and when they do so in a professional manner, the results are evident. As we speak, persons are really very happy about how we have demonstrated professionalism and effectiveness, especially with the back to school and so on. And so we continue to work towards being that beacon that can lead the way in terms of giving the JCF and Jamaica the kind of face that it requires to go to the future.
And we are seeing some new initiatives on the police. For example, recently when we had a strike, you took the children to school, the students to school. You know, you can see you helping people to do, work on their car if it's broken down or so. So really, the police is really doing a new thing. Tell me, it's 1 year later. What's the way forward for PSTEB?
Well, the way forward is continue to develop the brand, continue to be better at what we do. Of course, technology, equipping ourselves, training, that is very important. We recognize that. We also have to ensure that we listen to what the public says because service is important.
Exactly.
That is what a national police force is about. We also recognize that it is not about enforcement, but a modern police force taking into consideration social and economic development. So we see ourselves as participating in all these issues, and we believe that we can make a significant difference going forward.
And our role, how can we help you?
Well, definitely. Firstly, we want Jamaica to recognize that the JCF and, of course, the branch, it is theirs. And so we want them to conform with the rule of law. We want them to police us as well. We want them to recognize that it's very important that when things are not going good, they are able to speak about it and to act on it as well, contribute as a citizen towards helping us to be orderly and to be lawful.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, you're welcome.
Mackenzie. This has been Get the Facts with our guest, Gary Mackenzie, Superintendent of Police of the Public Safety and the Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEB. Until next time, I'm Anthros Campbell. Take care.
Riddle me this, riddle me that, guess me this riddle, or perhaps not. I am the largest freshwater wetland ecosystem in Jamaica. I am home to hundreds of crocodiles and several different species of birds. Who am I? Find out the answer next.
Black River Morass is actually the largest wetland area in Jamaica. The upper morass was used for planting rice some years ago. That has ceased, and as a result, we have lost that area. But the lower morass is still here, and it provides not just a safari boat tour, but shrimping, fishing, and there's a lot of bird life still in the lower morass. It has been declared a wetland of international importance, a Ramsar site.
The Black River Morass is home to hundreds of crocodiles, vegetation, and other aquatic animals. Through guided tours offered along the river, you can glide upstream to learn more about the wetlands and all its inhabitants.
Welcome on board the Safari Diva and welcome to the Black River Safari. My name is Roger and I'll be your captain and also your tour guide. Our trip will take us approximately 4 kilometers upstream, during which I'll show you some birds, wetland vegetation, and some of our very friendly crocodiles. Presently, we're on the Black River, and this is Jamaica's longest navigable river. It is 44 miles long, about 70 kilometers. Well, surrounding us, we have over 21,000 acres of swamp, and this is the largest wetlands in the Caribbean. It is also home for over 65 different species of birds. 17 years ago, it was estimated there was a little bit over 100 crocodiles living within the area. And since then, their number have increased as they are on the endangered species list. They were once hunted for their skin to make a nice shoes or a good handbag. They are protected. No hunting of crocodiles in Jamaica. Well, they are part of our heritage. They're on our coat of arms with the crocodiles at the top, Indians at the side.
Unlike what we may believe in Jamaica, our crocodile here, Crocodilus acutus, is one of the most docile of the crocodilian species. The thing about it is that they help to cull the fish population, the animals, the fish that are diseased or the fish that are dead, they will eat them and so on. So that it's well worth having those crocodiles here within our wetland areas.
These birds you are looking at, they are called egret, commonly known as galling. The reason for the birds to nest in this location, behind us, this is our local fish market. So once those small boat comes from sea, they'll have some food to get. In the river, we can catch big fish like tarpon. Those can get up to 200 pounds. And snook, which is a very good eating fish, can get up to 50 pounds. And the African perch, mullet, snapper, several different types. It's very good for fishing. So by the shallow edge of the river, it is also the main habitat for our freshwater shrimp. This little device I have here, this is called a shrimp trap. It is made from the bamboo plant. We'll use for bait roasted coconut, oranges, or even a piece of chicken. Now once the shrimp goes in, it's difficult for them to go out. The conical shape helps to keep them in. So we'll just hold it and twist it. It opens up so we can shake them out. It's actually very simple, but it is effective. The design came from West Africa over 200 years ago, and it is still used today. The vegetation or trees, they are called mangrove, which we have two types of mangroves tree, white and red. White mangrove, small leaves, and they are brighter in color. Red mangrove have much bigger leaves and also have those aerial root that goes into the water. It takes up all the minerals and nutrients for the tree. This section of the river we're entering, we call here Mangrove Avenue, as it forms a canopy similar to our bamboo avenue. These are all red mangrove trees, the ones that have the roots going into the water. In the early 1900s, the bark or skin of red mangrove was used for making a type of dye which we call tannin.
Did you know that the water in the Black River is actually clear? The river got its name due to the dark shade created by the presence of peat soil on the riverbed.
Peat soil, which is at the bed of the river, that is giving off the dark reflection. It also has its advantage and its disadvantage. The advantage, whenever time we have heavy rainfall or during hurricane, the soil, it acts as a sponge which absorbs the excess water. So we have no flooding activity within the area. However, when the water level gets too low, the peat soil, it gives off the methane gas, and with the help of sunlight it will ignite.
There are many different types of wetlands. In Jamaica, the most common wetlands are coastal mangroves, morasses, lakes, and ponds. For more information on the Black River Morass and all the other wetland areas in Jamaica, visit the National Environment and Planning Agency's website at www.nepa.gov.jm.
We have a serious problem with garbage disposal, as some people continue doing the wrong things, throwing your garbage in the drains, the gullies, on the roadside, anywhere that is not a bin is a no-no. The National Solid Waste Management Authority is calling on all of us to help identify these people who continue to dirty up Jamaica.
What we are up against is a culture of nastiness that we are trying to fix. And no matter what we do at the NSWMA, unless we get the buy-in of the people on the ground, our work will come to naught. Because we can't put an enforcement officer everywhere. We can't have one of our operatives standing up at every corner. So we need to get the information, and if we can get it in real time, a little camera thing and a little, video, a little photograph, it helps us to identify the culprits.
Do your part, not dirty up Jamaica, and let us all work to make this island the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. Thanks for watching another edition of Jamaica Magazine. Join us again tomorrow when we'll do this with new content all over again. Send your feedback on today's show to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm. Also, follow us on our social media pages, download our app on your Apple and Android devices, and you can also visit our website at jis.gov.jm for more information. On behalf of the entire production crew, I am Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV. Our women are the backbone of our society. They deserve to be protected and respected. Domestic violence is not okay. Speak up and speak out. No more violence against women.
This week, it's all about nurseries. I'm Janelle Pantrico, Creative Director at Spaces, and we're going to be talking about things to consider when decorating a nursery for the first time. So when we think about decorating the nursery, usually it's not a big room in the home that we find a lot of people paying a lot of attention to for decorating. It's only in recent times that we've realized that people are now exploring the options of actually decorating the nursery and being really creative with the space for the newborn baby. So one of the things that we find that people are doing is experimenting a lot more with the color scheme options for the nursery. Typically you used to think and find only blue for boys, pink for girls, but now there are a lot of different color scheme options that we see our clients utilizing and asking for in their homes. So one of the common things you realize when you're picking a color scheme for a nursery is that you typically go with more pastel, neutral shades of one color. So you find that shades like coral, light pink, as opposed to using more intense colors like red or things like that. For mixing of colors, you find that there's more options out there apart from just using the primary colors that we've been traditionally using. And you find that once you're willing to experiment and open up to the new trends that are out there, you can really personalize the space for your baby. So another key component when decorating your nursery is deciding on what pieces you need in addition to the basic, which is the crib. Storage is of importance. You realize that the baby has tons of clothes and diapers and all sorts of other things that are going to need place. And in order to operate efficiently, we always suggest that you consider storage. So thinking of using probably like a dresser, like a 6-drawer, 9-drawer dresser that can also double as a changing tabletop if you buy the appropriate safety changing tops that can be attached to your dresser. Thinking of utilizing the closet space by going vertical, adding more shelving inside the room so you can put baskets that can store diapers, onesie, and all sorts of other things that you'll need for your newborn baby. And we also don't want to forget the mom while we're also outfitting the nursery. I mean, it's important to have a very comfortable seating spot for mom where she can do her nursing, whether you consider using a rocker, a recliner, or maybe an accent chair. An accent chair is also a great way to add some more personality, and it's another decorative element that can enhance the nursery space as well too. A great piece to add to the room, which adds some character as well, and is also for comfort purpose, is adding a poof or an ottoman. You can get a poof that's just decorative in nature that you can put your feet up and rest while you're doing your nursing, or an ottoman that also offers extra storage space as well. That can be used to store some of the baby's toys, etc. in there. So it's also a very useful piece in the room as well. So another consideration when purchasing pieces for the nursery is to look at how these pieces can transition with your child. So when you're going from the infant stage to the toddler to your perhaps may even be in the same space to teenage years. So you want to invest in pieces that can transition with your child. There are a lot of options now available with cribs that can, if you buy the kits with them, that can be transitioned into safety beds, full-size beds as the child progresses. And two, you may not necessarily want to go with kid-size furniture, so if you can look outside of buying youth furniture as in like an appropriate dresser that can transition with the child. You may not necessarily want to buy a pink one. White would suffice, and that can transition with a girl or a boy as they through the stages. And while safety and storage and all those elements are important while you're decorating your nursery, it's also a fun time for the parents to be as well. So I would suggest that they take their time, enjoy the process, and just look forward to the coming years and the time that they're going to spend with their child in that room. So right now I'm actually excited because in our next project we'll be working with Kalila Reynolds. So in another couple of weeks, she and her husband will be welcoming their baby, which is a girl. So we're excited to work with her on this project. I have some ideas already for the space, and she has some ideas too. So we're gonna meet with her at our home and see how best we can collaborate and make sure that we have the most perfect room for her baby.
I like I said, like the mint green. So probably like maybe this color. Plus it's preservation, it says.
Right.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point. Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show. And Weekend Business Report. Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. Wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV. Serious about business.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Career Moves has always explored interesting careers, highlighting all you may not have known about them. This season is no different.
Coming back to Jamaica, everyone's like, Fizzy what? Fizzy who?
When you find a bright boy or girl in the class and people say, what are you going to be? The parents will say, you have to go be a doctor, you have to go be a lawyer. Nobody says you have to go be a politician.
Let me see your hands!
Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Hi again, it's Janelle from Spaces. So we're back. We're now at Kalila Reynolds' house. Just before the break, we were at the store discussing tips for decorating your nursery. Right now, we're getting ready to go inside for the first time. I have a little bit of concern because Kalila is about 34 weeks pregnant, and ideally we would want to have the nursery ready by this time, just so that, you know, any scents from the paint and everything would have had time to evaporate, and that the baby would be coming into an environment that's all ready. And two, you never know, at 34 weeks the baby could decide to come early. So one of the concerns Kalila had when she met with us was that the space she has designated for the nursery is on the small side. We at Spaces actually specialize in small spaces, so while that may be a concern to her, there are a lot of ways that we can manipulate the space in order to get maximum utilization of the space. So we're going to take a look and see how best we can help her. Hi. Kalila.
Nice to meet you.
Same. So guys, we just took a look at Kalila's nursery. It's a small room, but it's not a big challenge for us at Spaces. It's definitely a workable space. We can put inside pretty much everything that Kalila has on her wish list. So we're just gonna delve in more and find out what exactly she wants in the space, and if she has already any inspiration that she's seen, so we can work with and try and see if we can get her exactly what she wants. So Kalila, have you been looking at any concepts or ideas for the nursery?
Well, the only thing I really have on my list that I want is the color scheme. I really like the combination of mint green and lavender.
Right.
And possibly gray can go in the mix too, as a trimming or some combination of those colors.
Okay, that's a wonderful color scheme. It's actually a very nice and soothing palette. You don't want to put any colors that are too bright or going to be too energetic in the room, because you do want to create a very relaxing and calming atmosphere for the baby. So what we can look at is ways of incorporating those colors. You know, you're gonna have your soft furnishings for the nursery, for the bedding. You have window treatment options, and of course the main focal point is the paint color that you'll ultimately choose for the walls. So let's take a look at this color palette here and see if we could probably pinpoint a color that jumps out at you. I usually recommend for my clients, because the chips that you get from the paint store, the colors, depending on the lighting in your room, may not reflect ideally as what it is on the paper.
This I know.
You've had the experience.
The color of these walls right now is not what I thought.
So I do suggest starting with a quart size, test it in the room so that you can see how the lighting will affect the space. So we can probably pick out one or two from here, and then we can narrow down, and then you could go ahead and get the quarts. We test it on the wall and see if we still like the color, and then we can work from there.
I like the mint green, so probably like
maybe this color. What's it? Preservation, it says.
Right.
And
then
a lavender.
We want to try and find something that's in the same tone as it as well to complement it. So finding your color scheme is where we start off first. And as you hear, I mean, the inspiration can come from anything. You may have had a bedding that you liked already for the crib, and we can use that as a color palette. Or we're working with the color scheme, and then now we can start choosing the bedding and the other things that are going to go into the space. Some of the things that we also need to consider is storage. Having a newborn baby, as you know, you're going to have like diapers, you know, all your onesies and everything. So I realized there's a cute little space that we could actually put some shelving and create a little cubby hole that will give you some extra storage inside the space. So what we want to do is to maximize on the small space that we have. So doing vertical floating shelves, probably can go ahead and put those in as well. If you have a dresser, that can double as storage as well as your changing table.
Right.
So that's another option that we consider. And then we can look at, you know, having a nice comfortable chair for you so that you have somewhere you'll be able to nurse the baby.
Another concern that we had is, you know, designing on a budget, because we don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on this. Kids grow stuff out so quickly too. We don't want it to be dated too quickly, that by the time she's 2, it's looking like a little baby's room, and she, you know.
Yeah, that's definitely a real concern. One of the things that we can do is probably do some DIY projects for the nursery. And it's a great way to personalize the space. I've looked around your home and I realized there's a couple paintings that you pointed out to me that you did yourself, and it would be a nice project if you could personalize some canvas pieces for the new nursery. So that's one way you can save on the budget. Another thing too is not necessarily using the colors on the wall, because again, paint is something that you may have that for a couple of years. So you could go with a more neutral color on the wall, say the gray that you mentioned that you also like as well. So that could be the base color for the wall, and then we could introduce the other colors in the window treatments, in the bedding, and those are things that you would have disposed of in a couple of months or so forth. So that's one way that you could save on the budget as well.
Yeah, that works.
Mix and match pieces, you don't have to get everything new. If someone has a crib that they can hand down, you can always refinish that.
Yeah, perfect. One of my friends is giving me a crib.
There you go, and that's a huge savings right there already. You may find a dresser around the home that you could probably repurpose, that you could have sanded down and painted in maybe a white or something like that, that your baby can grow with. So she could go from baby stage to toddler into her teenage years with a nice solid piece of furniture. Another great and fun way to personalize the nursery is with accessories. You could use stuffed toys, personalized artwork on the wall, nice inspirational quotations. These are things that you could do yourself. I mean, again, if you are on a budget, not everything necessarily has to be store-bought. And again, it's something that you may want to keep as a memento, as a keepsake for the child as they grow up. This is what mom did for you, and it would be a great way to keep memories of the process going through. Another nice accessory to add is we always forget the windows, so they double as preventing too much sun to come in so that the baby can sleep throughout the morning and so forth. But it's also another way of adding a nice other layer and element of decor into the space. So we can look at probably doing something like Roman shades in like a fun print as well. So there are a lot of options we can do. I mean, I'm gonna go back to the office now that I've seen the space and come up with a nice, great design concept for you.
Do you have any ideas for the floor? I was thinking maybe a rug.
Okay, sometimes a rug is a great option, but also too, depending on the baby, I mean, some children are born with allergies, so you may not necessarily want to have a rug that might cause any allergic reaction. Something that you could consider is probably like a play mat, which you could either get with like the alphabet and the numbers, which is something that with as they get older is something that becomes like a useful learning tool for them as well.
Yeah, I've seen those. Those are fun.
Right.
And then I was looking at these two dressers.
Your dress?
Yeah. This one matches the crib, but this one is much cheaper. Price is another thing.
And these are dressers or chest of drawers?
Chest of drawer.
You wouldn't do the dresser?
What do you mean by dresser? The one with the mirror on it?
one. Well, you can buy it without the mirror, and then it could be the changing table like how they have this here. So this is actually our dresser, and they just put a changing pad on there, which you need to strap down.
Oh.
Yeah. So we've seen the space, we've taken our measurements, and we've met with the mom-to-be. I'm excited to be working with Kalila, so I'm gonna head back to my office now to get started on our plan. We only have a couple of weeks, so I have to hurry and make sure I get things right. So see you guys back here in about 2 weeks' time.
It's very calming. I love this chair. It's like, oh, you just get to crack back and feed her and rock her and whatnot.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
We are back with another exciting, innovative, and inspiring season.
It takes a lot of stick-to-itiveness, being consistent and persistent in whatever you're doing. That's the bottom line.
Business exists to add value to people's lives. And if we're not doing that, might as well we knock down the store and just call it a day.
It's a season 3 of Creating Wealth, Mondays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
I'm Adam Stewart. This is Business Access TV, serious about business.
So this is the nursery. This is Nerice's room. She's now 2.5 months old, and I love it. It's actually one of my favorite rooms in the house. It's very calming. I love this chair. It's like, oh, you just get to crack back and feed her and rock her and whatnot. So she's going at it right now. The crib was a hand-me-down from a friend. It was her baby's crib, and now it's Nerice's crib. I love the color scheme, the purple, turquoise, and gray. Janelle really did a great job in designing the room from Spaces. The wallpaper was provided by them too. And some of the accessories we got online at Amazon.com. Daddy did a whole lot of work in here. As you can see, you saw the before images. He did all the painting, put up the wallpaper. Him and his dad put up the chair rail, the baseboards, as well as the shelves. And you can see her tiny little clothes, tiny little closet. Some toys and some books are up. And everybody really loves this space. We come in here, sometimes we come in here just to relax because it's one of the cooler rooms in the house too. Because the breeze comes through this window to the back. The window treatment is awesome. This was done by the team at Spaces. So we're overall really happy with the room. The wall decorations were provided by Janelle too. She gave us those as a present from Spaces. And I think they look really, really nice in the room. They just add that extra touch, the little feminine touch. We have a nice walnut colored dresser too with some silver hardware that goes well with the room. And we just use that as the changing table. We bought a changing mat and put it on top. And that's where we change her. Fits all her clothes. There is space as well by the shelves for box of Pampers, box of wipes, go through those things, many a day. So it comes in very handy. It's a small space, but she's a small child, so it works out very well. The doll, the Cabbage Patch doll, was my older daughter's doll. She had it since she was her age. My older daughter is now 15, so that doll is now 15 years old. And the dress that she's wearing used to be her dress as well. So it was a dress for her as a baby. And now the doll wears it, and the doll has a new owner. So it's Nerese's now. She and the doll is same size. Overall, I just really enjoy this space. It's such a calm, relaxing area to come. I want to thank General Pantry from Spaces and her entire team as well for all the hard work that they put in so that we can have a room we truly, truly enjoy.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On point, dissecting the issues. Offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On point. Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
The Caribbean is a rich biodiversity hotspot. It has over 11,000 plant species, and about 72 of these are found only in this region. This richness also extends to the Caribbean people. Their traditional knowledge of the region's varied natural resources has integrated nature into the economic and health sectors worldwide. It has also drawn many to research and use the region's biodiversity for medicinal, cosmetic, and pharmaceutical purposes. For example, the glaucoma medication Canosol is made from cannabis. However, Caribbean islands have fallen prey to biopiracy, where a country's resources are accessed and developed commercially, but the country gets little or no benefit from it. As the world benefits from the Caribbean's biodiversity, countries need to be compensated for their commercial use. Lawmakers need to ensure that their countries are legally prepared to give access to and benefits from commercial use of genetic resources. To ensure prior informed consent and mutually agreed terms of access established by the Nagoya Protocol, the Global Environment Facility, GEF, United Nations Environment Program, UNEP, and the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, IUCN, are jointly providing support to countries at different levels in order to advance towards functional access and benefit sharing. Under the Nagoya Protocol, countries from which natural resources are obtained for commercial developments are entitled to compensation. It also ensures indigenous knowledge from groups such as the Maroons, Rastafarians, and Amerindians can be credited and compensated if their traditional knowledge has been used for commercial purposes. Caribbean islands are putting the Nagoya Protocol in their legislative framework to safeguard their country's biodiversity and traditional knowledge. Let us all work together to protect our resources, do valuable research, and reap the benefits of sustainable bioprospecting in the region.
Violence is bad.
Violence against our innocent little children is terrible. Pretending not to notice when we know or suspect that a child is suffering is awful and morally wrong. In the words of the great Nelson Mandela, there can be no keener realization of a nation's soul than the way in which it treats its children. Think about that for a second. I have a voice. It's one of my gifts. I intend to use it on behalf of our children. No more violence against our children. Make your move to stop violence against our children right now. No more. No more. No more.
I do have a dream, and I know you have a dream, that we can make Jamaica the place of choice for you to choose to live, to work, to do business.
We are going for the Jamaica we want. Making steady progress to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals in our National Development Plan, Vision 2030 Jamaica. We have teamed up with valued partners, working through strong institutions to reduce inequalities in our society. We commit to being responsible in our production and consumption, ensuring we build sustainable communities in harmony with nature. Jamaica is making significant strides in providing quality, lifelong education for all, enabling our people to be engaged in decent work to drive economic growth, equipping men and women with the skills to build resilient infrastructure, promote sustainable industry, foster innovation, and utilize new technologies. Urgent action is being taken to manage natural resources responsibly, protecting clean water sources, ensuring access to water and sanitation for all, diversifying to alternative energy sources, conserving our environment and sustaining life below water and on land. Jamaica is making moves to ensure healthy lifestyles for the well-being of our people. We're promoting sustainable agriculture to achieve food security, improve nutrition, and end extreme hunger, putting in the work to end poverty in all its forms. We're on track in achieving our Sustainable Development Goals through realizing our Vision 2030 Jamaica. We will leave no one behind.
And I'm chilling right now, cause we're winning right now.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show, and Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV. Serious about business.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
Business Access TV is here at Expo Jamaica 2018 under the theme Advancing Breakthroughs. With over 300 displays here, there's lots to see and taste. Now please stay tuned. I'm your host, Amita Pasadweb.
The Wisynco Group has always been a supporter of the Expo Jamaica. We have participated from inception. However, this year, being the fact that we are now a listed company on the stock exchange, and given the growth of the Expo, we have decided that we would have partnered with the JMA Expo Association, because we are a strong Jamaica manufacturing company and we support the industry, the manufacturing sector, and as such we decided to be a major partner this year. Wisynco, being a major manufacturer, will always support them SMEs, right? SMEs are employers of the largest group of people in this country, and without the small and medium-sized enterprises, the economy will not grow. So based on that effort, we decided that we are and will always support the SMEs. The JMA and the JEA are two iconic institutions here in Jamaica. And these institutions are mainly lobbying institutions, lobbying the government for, pushing the manufacturing sectors and pushing the exporters. So what you find is that over the years, we have been conflicting in what we do as association. And as such, discussion has been held over the last few years that it would have been best for us to merge entities so that we could have a better and stronger voice in lobbying.
Urban Orchids JA provides silk floral botanicals for spaces that need beautifying all year round, for spaces also that don't get enough light. And there are a lot of us who cannot take care of orchids, so this is a viable alternative for that. We also do succulent plants. These are small plants that can hold in the palm of your hand, and they're beautiful. They are realistic and they look and feel real. For half the cost, basically, that's what we do. Expo has been amazing. There has been a lot of networking, and it's been promising for us so far, and it's definitely something we'll do at Expo 2020 because it has been a good experience. Expo Jamaica helps small businesses to network with the larger businesses who may help in distribution and providing supplies for smaller companies. We also get to meet mentors, and we get to experience, events that will bolster us into the market of supplying to larger companies. You can find Urban Orchids JA on Instagram at urban_orchids JA. That's urban_orchids JA. You can contact us at 473-2723.
You've been a part of Nationals Bold One. Just tell me how that has helped your business to kind of launch off, and how has that boosted your business?
Well, Bold Ones a very phenomenal experience. One, the kind of promotion, publicity, and advertising that Bold Ones has helped us to do is amazing. First of all, the official launch our recognition as well. Helping to cement our branding in Jamaica as an authentic premium Jamaican brand. On two of national trucks is our logo and our products, and has allowed persons to actually see our products even better. So it has increased our visibility. And this expo is amazing. The amount of interest, the amount of people wanting to meet us, know about us. We can't pay for this. The Bold Ones has helped us tremendously. And of course, the advice I've gotten from Mr. Butch Henderson himself, by listening to him speak about small businesses growing and their pains, of course. And we welcome anybody to be a Bold One as well.
All right, tell us a little bit about your company.
All right, so Shavuot International was formed in 2014. We employ over 20 people from the inner city community of Winterspen, Spanish Town or GC Foster. And we also produce all natural, authentic, premium Jamaican products. From herbal teas, the cinnamon, the cerasee, the peppermint, the turmeric, your ginger, and the sauce up, and your moringa, and the sauce up moringa, to a very fine, the punch and a kick. Scotch bonnet, pepper powder, scallion powder, thyme powder, and our famous Jamaican black castor oil. And Jamaican black castor with moringa oil. All can be found in Fontana's, all beauty stores, as well as all major retail outlets. From the General Foods, to the General Ones, to the shoe shops, the Progressive, the Shoppers Fairs, or to the Highlows and the Mega Marts.
Tell us about how has Expo been for you this year?
Expo 2018 has been very exciting. First of all, we are very appreciative to be included as part of one of the bold ones once again. So it has given us the opportunity to expose our brand to the Jamaican market. And again, we are getting a very enthusiastic response. I think Jamaicans are beginning to see that there are a lot of good new products being developed, a lot of good young entrepreneurs putting out good products.
How significant has it been for your business to be a part of National's Bold One? And talk to me about how has National helped to boost your business?
Well, by being included, they have given us certain, infrastructure and sponsorship supports. But again, just the recognition from a company like National, it gives you a lot of encouragement. It also gives you a certain level of acceptance and credibility in the market, because these are companies that, have been reviewed and have been deemed, to be worthy upcoming companies. Not to say there aren't many more, but, as one of the bold ones, it gives us a certain advantage.
All right, quickly, just tell us a little bit about your product.
Well, Belcourt Blue Mountain Preserves, all natural, gourmet products made in Jamaica, all natural. So we don't use any artificial colors, flavors, ingredients, preservatives. These basically are my wife's recipes. She has developed most of them. She is a cook, gardener, and foodie in the family. So you could say she is the inspiration for this brand, and you could say I am sort of the perspiration for the brand.
Tell us a little bit about how has Expo been for you so far this year?
This year has been very good. In fact, this year is our year in that we have now entered a number of export markets. We're in the UK market. We've gone into the US in Atlanta. And coming here, we've had an order for the Canadian market. So yeah, it has been a good year.
How important is the platform that National is giving you, National Baking Company, to your business's success?
Very important in that it has provided us with a great deal of exposure, both locally and internationally. We're focusing on our local herb, lemongrass. And what we do is to make a line of skincare aromatherapy products using the essential oil. So we grow our own farm, extract our own oil, and we use that to create our premium products.
Nature's Goodies, we're a group of farmers that produce, procure, and process all natural food and vegetables. We do our signature product is our pressed plantains, which is green plantains that we process at our factory in Spanish Town. We press it and make it more convenient for you to have it, vacuum seal it, and you can have it at all the supermarkets island-wide. We do a line of flour, sweet potato, cassava, breadfruit, yam, all gluten-free, all natural, no additives, no preservatives. I'm hoping that Nature's Goodies Jamaica gets a lot of exposure, and so far so good, to be honest. Jampro and JEA have been really supportive of small businesses like ours, and I'm hoping that our products get the exposure both locally and internationally, and that we can secure orders coming out of the expo.
I think Expo in general helped to expose and to market the domestic manufacturers. Today we're proud to be part of it, not only for the benefits that we will achieve as a company, but also for the promotion of the institution, the Jamaica Manufacturing and Export Association, that actually developed and promote this expo, but equally also for Jamaica. So we can showcase to Jamaica and to the world some of the good things that are taking place in the manufacturing industry here in Jamaica. We in general believe it's a great idea for both institutions to merge. Start with the fact that what JMA then promoted was primarily manufacturing, may it be in the construction industry, in the agriculture industry, in processing, or just about every industry. And what JEA obviously promotes is export, the export of the same product. So a merger of both only expand the organization, create great opportunities for export and manufacturing to consolidate and work as one in order to achieve the greater benefits of both production and export. Finally, not only will the merger will promote greater production and export, but also in terms of both institutions, we should begin to realize more efficiency and, of course, some level of savings from the merger.
We go to a short break, but much more from Expo Jamaica 2018.
We are back with another exciting, innovative, and inspiring season.
It takes a lot of stick-to-itiveness, being consistent and persistent in whatever you're doing. That's the bottom line.
Business exists to add value to people's lives. And if we're not doing that, might as well we lock down the store and just call it a day.
It's a season 3 of Creating Wealth, Mondays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show and Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV. Serious about business.
Violence against women is a violation of human rights. Its impact ranges from immediate to long-term physical, mental, and sexual consequences, sometimes resulting in death. It negatively impacts women's general well-being and can prevent us from fully participating in society. Be a better human being. No more violence against women. No more.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Welcome back to Business Access TV's coverage of Expo Jamaica 2018 right here at the National Arena.
At the Expo this year, CMU is showcasing additive manufacturing, also known as 3D printers or 3D printing. We've brought over a couple of our printers from the laboratory, and we've been getting a really great response of people they've never seen a printer, so we have been demonstrating our 3D printing technology here.
What role do you see this having in Jamaica's manufacturing industry?
Well, I actually spent 15 years in industry as a manufacturer. I worked in the digital factory at Siemens. And what I saw in that big company was that 3D printing is really the way of the future. So it's really important for us to be in the first wave of things happening. And so Caribbean Maritime University is really just trying to play its role to develop our people, to give them access to this technology, because it's state-of-the-art technology that's being used in industry today.
All right, talk to me about CMU's role in helping to move the country's economy forward.
So Caribbean Maritime University, we are attaching ourselves to industry. We think that, playing a big role in trying to educate our students so that they can be really great contributors to the nation's development. We have a couple of really strategic areas that we're focused on: logistics and supply chain, obviously tying ourselves to the big logistics initiative, the logistics hub that we're trying to contribute. We also have a state-of-the-art industrial automation training facility that will launch later this year, which will give students and people the ability to access the latest technologies that are being implemented inside of industry. Just as our 3D printing, additive manufacturing is the latest technology. So CMU is really trying to enable our nation, position our people, our human capital for the future, and to be able to grow our nation and contribute to the development of Jamaica and the region, actually.
So buckets are a great application for Jamaica. It allows consumers in Jamaica to save money. And it also allows merchants in Jamaica to make money. So it's very simple. So what happens is we have consumers that come on the platform. They can save at restaurants. It's eat, play, stay, and live. Merchants can create deals on the platform. We just require them to create a 15% discount so that Jamaicans can save from those discounts. Once we make a sale, we take 10% commission, and of that 10% commission, we give 20% back to Jamaicans. So everybody gets 2% cash back on the deals in our platform.
Tell us some of the, companies or deals or some of the things that would be available.
So currently we have deals such as Quartz on the platform. We have Appleton as a vendor, so 15% off local products with Quartz. We have Amazon products on the platform. We have Glad Helpers, 15% off if you need to save money on cleaning your house. Hopefully you don't have a dirty one. So Domino's memorabilia, so for example, Calabar, KC, so really anything from a pin to a house can be listed on our platform.
How revolutionary do you think this will be for the Jamaican consumer?
Very revolutionary. We work very hard to bring this product to Jamaicans to allow consumers to connect with merchants across Jamaica on their mobiles. Most Jamaicans have mobiles over computers today, 2.2 million of you.
What do you think the pickup will be like?
Well, we launched at Expo this year, and we've had many downloads since we've been here. Everybody's come to our booth. Everything is done. It's Sunday, end of day, and we have no more material. Everybody's come here, and everybody's very excited about the platform.
So this is next big thing?
Next big thing. Yes, absolutely. Next biggest thing in Jamaica. So download the app today. Bucket Rewards if you want to save money. Bucket Merchant if you want to make money.
All right, and where do I find the app?
You download it on the iOS store or the Play Store on Google.
Well, this is the first time we've actually come to this, because I saw it advertised before and I was quite interested to come. Just saying, when we came this morning, we obviously got the times wrong, so we went away and come back. So this is our first, so we hopefully will be coming again. So we're just going to have a good look around now.
As a manufacturer, we are on two fronts. We manufacture our water, but at the same time, we also manufacture our bottles, and we are exported. We are available in Cayman Islands, we're available in Barbados, we're available in BVI, we're available in the Caribbean. So as a local manufacturer, especially one that's been around for 13 years, it's important for us to remind Jamaicans, hey, here's a good quality Jamaican brand. Here is the Fiji of Jamaica right at your back door, right in Buff Bay, Portland. When people think about water and Blue Mountain water, they automatically think about at the top of the mountain, not realizing that this small town in Portland, Buff Bay, that you've possibly driven through before, is home to such a high quality water, the only naturally alkaline water in this hemisphere, in the Caribbean. That's a very big deal, and that's in our own backyard. So we are happy to interact with our customers to let people understand that not all waters are equal. There is a difference. Look at your label. Question what's happening with your water. Question what you're drinking, because you could be drinking yourself sick. We're very happy with our Expo execution this year. It's not our first year at the Expo. We try to participate as much as possible to let persons on this side of the island what an amazing product we have.
A show like this for all size enterprises is useful because the attendees are buyers from multiple countries. For this year's show, there are 26 different countries represented, and you have local consumers. Consumers like to come to this show and see what the manufacturers are offering. So whether you're small, medium, or large, it's a great opportunity to showcase your products. And what is nice about this year's show is there's an area next door that has a lot of small companies featured, and I see them scattered around the main show hall, but over there, really good. At the show here for Tortuga, the kind of buyers that would have been here that interests Tortuga would be hotel buyers. So apparently a lot of the hotels sent representatives on Thursday, and we had lots of meetings with them to move the business forward. So it was useful in that regard for Tortuga. And just me, I'm observing consumer interaction with the brand. A lot of Jamaicans don't realize that the majority of Tortuga products, the rum cakes, are made here in Jamaica at 9C Retirement Crescent, Kingston 5. And people need to remember that if they want to take a piece of Jamaica to give to a friend or family overseas, Tortuga rum cake is a good choice.
Detox is a natural drink. We have the moringa, noni sorrel, guava sorrel, Powerman, hard driver, product of Jamaica. Experience of Expo 2018 is a awesome one. It's the first time being here, and it's wonderful, it's excited, it's a joyful excitement towards me, and I will come every time they have Expo. Jamaica, it is here for a small business. It's growing, and I can tell you, it's an experience that everyone should come here, even whatever you are doing. It's an experience for you to come, even if it doesn't be a part of it, but learn about it so the other time Expo come, you can be a part of it, and that's what helps you to push your business a little further across the world.
So over the past few years, Grace has been involved in the Expo, and we see it as a national development. And this year, 2018, as an exhibitor, we decide to showcase our products, our new service offerings, the different factories, canning meats. And by the way, we will have a new factory opening this year. I won't give you too much details, but I know it will create job opportunities for the local farmers, and that's what we care about, people. The latest product is our Grace food drink. It comes in 4 different flavors: tropical strawberry, smooth vanilla, walnut caramel, and butter almond. It's sensation, it's a hit. I just wanted you to take a look over there. However, it's finished, as you can see. The lines were long, it's jam-packed, and we're now moving on. Our Tropical Rhythms PT, which is our plastic bottle Tropical Rhythms, it's been a hit since inception. And through Grace Flavor with a Beat, we're going to take the campaign on the road, pushing our promotions in stores, at events, because we're now heavily involved in events and in-trade promotions.
As a manufacturer or as an exporter, you're also a manufacturer. So I think with the merge of the JMA and the JEA, is bringing together a much larger size lobbying group to be able to grow the industry, grow the exports, grow the manufacturing industry, and to be able to lobby government to ensure that we have, and we don't want anything free from government, you know. What we're saying, or from the taxpayers of this country, what we want is an environment that we can operate to be able to grow, so we can grow this economy, because they've tried everything. They've pushed on tourism, they're pushing BPO, they're pushing agriculture, but nobody has ever really focused on pushing the manufacturing sector. And we're just going about it in our own ways. And what needs to be known is that the manufacturing sector, and I have no bones to tell anybody, plain and straight, that we are second to bank in the financial sector, which is the first in the amount of tax. They pay about $55 billion in taxes. The manufacturing sector pays just about the same much, maybe a tad below it, but we're going to beat them very, very shortly. So it is a very important sector. Manufacturing creates wealth in a nation, creates higher scale paid jobs, creates foreign exchange earnings, because you're now reducing imports by producing locally made products and making available locally made products to the industry. So it is a win-win for everybody. And what we want is government, opposition, and the people of Jamaica to realize the importance of this sector to grow in this nation. And we've done everything, but we haven't been able to get the growth. Let's focus on those industries too, which are very important: tourism, BPOs, and agriculture, very important. That linkage needs to be created and grown, but the manufacturing sector is a main industry that's going to carry this nation. We've been carrying it for a very long time, but nobody realized how important. I mean, $55 billion, second to the major taxpayer of this country, which is banking, is now second in line to banking in terms of taxes. That's a big, huge sum that they need to look at and pay very strict attention to.
I believe the merger between GMA and JEA is actually a very good thing. I think that there are natural synergies between the two companies, and I think that there are tremendous cost-saving implications. And the merger, to me, would just create a stronger organization. For my company, what I would want out of that merger is just ease of doing business, actually, you know, greater facilitation with doing businesses, especially export business, you know. I think that the GMA understands the manufacturing side of our businesses, and the JEA understands the export side, and where those two can collaborate to help me to fine-tune my business activities. I really look forward to that, and I believe they would be able to deliver that. A one-stop shop is always better than going to multiple places.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, delighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life surrounds art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
We are serious about the business of real estate, so catch Home Sweet Home Sundays at 4:30 p.m. or if you missed it, check our website at batvja.com.
On this episode of Business Access, we featured Don Anderson, Executive Chairman of Market Research Services Limited, the longest standing company of its kind in the Caribbean. Home of the famous Don Anderson polls, Market Research Services Limited has a stellar track record when it comes to providing its clients with sound data for all their research needs. Today, Don reveals his secrets to being successful in helping firms make multi-million-dollar decisions and predicting elections.
The bottom line is that credibility, confidentiality are key factors in every research organization. And we hold those two things very, very, very sacredly.
We also learn about his close affinity to sports and the role his family has played in his career over the years.
My name is Don Anderson, and I'm the Executive Chairman of Market Research Services Limited. I'm from a fairly large family. My dad was a pretty comfortable corporal in the police force in Port Antonio. My mother was a dressmaker, and between them they produced 8 children, 6 boys and 2 girls. First 5 children were all boys. I was the number 5 of the 8, and therefore I was thought perhaps to be the last of the brood. But then there were 3 afterwards. Now why I say that is that there was a consistent 2-year gap between the first 5, and then there was a gap of nearly 5 years, and then the last 3 were 2 years between. So very interesting way. I don't know what my parents had in mind, but so we came from pretty humble background, and with what they had, they were able to put us through, all of us through high school in Titchfield, and most of us through university. I would like to think that my best years were certainly the formative years in primary school. One of my really great teachers was Mrs. Sykes, the mother of the current Chief Justice. She died recently. And my Titchfield years were, again, very, very powerful years as far as my education was concerned. I had 2 different headmasters, Cap Thomas from England, and then Mr. Mortimer Geddes as one of the really strong principals that the school has had. I'd like to think when you think in terms of the academic qualifications of my siblings, I would probably be the least of the academically qualified of the lot. Because the rest of them have gone on to do big things, really big things, academically and otherwise. My oldest sibling was a professor at Harvard, and Roy, one of my other older siblings, was the justice on the Supreme Court bench, but all of the others have achieved something significant. One of my sisters, Hope, was a doctor. Unfortunately passed 2 years ago. So we've come from this pretty humble background, and I don't believe that we've forgotten where we've come from. We have used that as a launching pad for really the development of our own personalities going through life. I was a normal boy, I believe. My father was rather reserved. You know, he would come in from work and sit on the veranda in his nice little rocking chair, and he would contemplate what I don't know. He didn't talk a lot. My mom was more of the person to instill the kind of framework of discipline and that type of thing. But combined, I believe they did a good job in molding us. So I don't think we had a difficult childhood. We made do with what we had, and each of us in our own ways, you know, kind of learned from those experiences and developed into who we became. My school days, of course, was where I began my formative sporting career, if you wish. The high point was a low point, actually, in my high school, because for reasons best known to himself, then headmaster Mortimer Geddes felt I should repeat 5th form. So I spent an extra year in 5th form, but it also meant that when they changed the school year from whatever it was, I got an extra year in sports. So I recall in my last year in schoolboy sports, they were questioning my age because I started playing school sports very early. From about 13, 14, I was a member of the school's cricket team and football team and hockey team. And so when I got into my 6th year of competition, there were questions as to whether or not I was an overage. but I was within the legal limit. So, you know, I think from there, when I graduated from Titchfield, I did A-levels. I went to work immediately at the tax office in Port Antonio and was transferred 9 months after then to Anota Bay in the tax office. And from there, I got a scholarship to the University of the West Indies. So I had 1 year of working life. I was a very senior member of the tax department in Anota Bay because I was the only high school graduate on the staff. And they made me what is called an executive assistant, which meant I was next to the collector of taxes in Anota Bay. So at a very young age, I learned what it was to manage people and to manage my time. So, and then I got this scholarship, a government scholarship, to the University of the West Indies. My older brother Roy and my older brother Winston were both graduates before or were both students at the University of the West Indies. Winston, when I was there, he was a year ahead of me. And I moved into Taylor Hall. And all 6 of my siblings who went into the University of the West Indies went through Taylor Hall. So we have a very close affinity to Taylor Hall. So moved into university, Taylor Hall, spent 3 years, graduated with a bachelor's degree in history. And then I started to do a postgraduate diploma in management, but work intervened because I was then promoted from the company I began to work with, Market Research Jamaica Limited. I was then promoted to the research executive position and then the general manager. And therefore, that kind of took precedence over my academic studies at that point in time. So even though I was accepted to read for an MSc in economics, I didn't pursue that. My opinion is unimportant. And even if you go in there with a mindset which is different from how the data comes out, that's not your business. Your business is to generate the data in the most professional way. And in the final analysis, however the data comes out, that's what you present.
Great design is not only how things look, but also how well they work. The GLC, more than meets the eye.
Doggin Global Business Process Outsourcing. Doggin Global can help you with your day-to-day administrative and secretarial needs. We provide solutions for streamlining your accounting and bookkeeping procedures, so you can get on with running your business while knowing that all the accounting and statutory needs are being taken care of. Our BPO services include the following: bookkeeping, preparation of budgets, management accounts, and periodic financial analyses, provision of temporary or part-time accounting assistance, design and implementation of accounting systems, preparation of accounting manuals, payroll services, corporate secretarial services, assisting clients with their business entry strategy into the country, setting up new legal entities, maintaining minutes and other legal documents, non-executive directorships, preparing and submitting annual returns. For additional information, contact us at email info@doggin.global, website www.doggin.global.
Market Research Services Limited is a full-fledged market research provider. By that we mean anywhere there's an information need, our organization is there to provide it. So that is the widest possible explanation or interpretation of what we do. In the last 25 years thereabout, I have become known as the pollster. But I want to put it in proper perspective because the political polling that we do is the loudest of all the work we do, but really represents about 10% of our business. Because the other 90% is conducting research for a very wide range of public sector companies, public sector entities, private sector companies, huge corporate bodies, financial institutions, manufacturing companies, name it. We have done research, and I sometimes challenge my students at UA where I teach sometimes that I don't believe you can name an industry that we have not done research in. And we have some really huge clients that we have worked along with. It's information, we gather information, we analyze data, we provide reports, we make presentations, and from what we do, huge marketing decisions are made. We've gone away from the era where a lot of business decisions used to be made from the seat of the pants, which meant that, people would sit in the boardrooms and say, I believe that this could work, And depending on who was most dominant, they would go in a particular direction. I'm happy to make the point and make it quite strongly that today, there are very few companies that are making decisions without the basis of good, solid information to guide them. And I think that's where our benefit really is, in providing the kind of reliable, credible, accurate information that companies of all kinds use to make decisions. We're talking about in the political arena as well, So we believe we provide a very important role, and I believe that research really is the pivot of all of our marketing activity worldwide. We pride ourselves on running a very professional organization. We, unlike a manufacturer who would sell a product that you can take and use and evaluate and so on, we have two things on which our company is built: credibility, confidentiality. We have existed in an environment where we have done work for competitive organizations in the private sector, for different political parties, and there is none that could ever say that their information has transcended where it ought not to go. The bottom line is that credibility, confidentiality are key factors in every research organization, and we hold those two things very, very, very sacredly. That is the bottom line, So it's not a secret. We follow the very strict research and professional ethics that govern our profession, and we then pride ourselves on delivering credible information and to ensure that our clients' data is absolutely confidential. My move into political polling was actually initiated by the Honorable Edward Seaga. In the 1980s, when he was the Prime Minister of Jamaica, we used to do some work for a related organization called the Bustamante Institute for Public Affairs, headed by then Hector Winter. We used to do some work because Mr. Seaga wanted to know, well, how is the country progressing, and how are people feeling about things in the country? So that work was channeled through the Bustamante Institute for Public Affairs. And maybe after about 3 years of working with them, I remember going back to my office one afternoon and my secretary told me that the Prime Minister wanted to meet with me that afternoon. I never gotten a call like that before. So I said, this has to be very important. So I dropped whatever I was doing. I headed to Jamaica House, and I was then in the presence of the Prime Minister, Mr. Seaga, Mr. Bruce Golden, Mr. Hugh Shearer. And what was this all about? We had been doing work for the Bustamante Institute of Public Affairs. And I remember Mr. Seaga taking out his little black book, which he's been known to carry around, and he says, well, what's the latest information you have from the Institute's work? When I shared that with him, he said, I'd be pleased to tell you that it's within 2% of the work that Carlstone has generated, and therefore we want you to do some work for us politically. I said, wow. That was my first political poll in the 1980s. And we then worked in the 1989 election, etc., etc., etc. So we have been in the polling business for close to 30 years. We had the benefit of working with Carl, who shoes people sometimes say I fit for Carl and shoes, you know. He really is the pioneer of all this market research and the political polling in particular in Jamaica. And I'm happy to have said that I've worked along with Carl in 1 or 2 projects. So, for 30 years, we have maintained a position as one of the really strong polling units in the Caribbean. And we have had the benefit of really successful political polls in almost every election in Jamaica. And the basis on which we have been able to garner this kind of reputation is the fact that we have maintained a very, very strong adherence to professionalism throughout. We guide the political parties in terms of what questions and how to shape the questions. Neutrally, not to their benefit, but neutrally so that they can derive the clearest objective data from those polls we do. And in the final analysis, we make a presentation to the respective political parties as to the outcome and the impact. I would like to think that, by and large, those polls that we have done have been used very effectively and efficiently by the respective political parties to determine their own course of action and their own strategy. That obtains to today. I've maintained throughout, and this is something we practice in our organization, we have a very strong team. My opinion is unimportant, and I have my own opinions about the way, you know, the data could look and so on. But the bottom line is that objectivity is the critical single component in doing good research. You have to be objective, you know? And even if you go in there with a mindset which is different from how the data comes out, that's not your business. Your business is to generate the data in the most professional way, using proper sampling techniques, using the controls that are important, quality controls that are important throughout fieldwork, validation, etc. And in the final analysis, however the data comes out, that's what you present. The biggest, most successful, most rewarding, most exciting, most humbling games that I have been to was the Beijing Olympics of 2008.
Sundays at 4:30 p.m. It's all about Home Sweet Home. Get your half-hour dose of the business of real estate, from laws and concepts to reality, building, buying, or renting. Or what about trends in decor or renovations? Home Sweet Home will keep you up to date.
I'm Butch Hendrickson. You're watching BATV, serious about business.
One of the big studies that we do right now is the Business and Consumer Confidence Survey. We have been running this study from 2001, and it's ongoing. Every quarter we make a presentation to the country as to what is the level of confidence that businesses have, what's the level of confidence that consumers have in the environment. And we therefore now have close to 70 quarters of data. One of the big drawbacks, and it's a pretty obvious situation, one of the big drawbacks to greater development is the whole question, this monster of crime. And when we talk to businesses, they tell us the single largest deterrent to growth is crime. All right? So there's no question that we have to find a way to harness this big problem. But in a macro way, we're heading in the right direction. But I think the growth that we could possibly achieve is stymied by the crime situation, and they also talk in terms of the level of bureaucracy, which is actually another deterrent. I will tell you though, that when you do political polls and you ask people, a strange question. Is the country going in the right direction or the wrong direction or what? I don't think we've ever done a study in which the public feels that the country is going in the right direction. And that's a kind of a dissonance, if you wish, but it's very easily explained. Because to a large extent, the general public looks at it from a very personal perspective, how they can manage their own fortunes and their own daily expenditure. And the technocrats and so on look at it from a more macro situation. But from a macro situation, I think we're moving in the right direction. What needs to be done now is to ensure that there's a great trickle down of those apparent benefits to the rank and file of the population. My peers in the market research field honored me by presenting me with a Lifetime Achievement Award for pioneering work in the market research. And it's something that really, struck me as being something really, really, I'm very proud of that, right? That was in 2003. In 2007, after I'd done 5 Olympic Games, the previous one to that being Athens in 2004, the government saw fit to award me with a national honor, the Order of Distinction Commander Class, CD, for my contribution to sports administration. That was in 2007. And in 2008, I went to, for me, the greatest games of them all, which was Beijing. From 1986, my first major games was the Olympics in Seoul, South Korea, 1988. I was the rookie. The biggest, most successful, most rewarding, most exciting, most humbling games that I have been to was the Beijing Olympics of 2008. I had the real privilege to have led the Jamaica team in the Beijing Games, which of course was the games that was a turning point for us in the Olympic movement, right? One Usain Bolt, of course, took the world by storm. And that stands out to me as the best of the games. I've been to 7, and if you ask me for a ranking of them all, I would say Beijing was by far the best. And I rather liked London again. It had a different kind of flavor. But Sydney, Beijing, and London were the best 3 of the 7 games that I've been to. Fantastic. The Beijing experience was just out of this world. In 2010, I decided I would put all that I have learned and heard about and experienced in a book. And this was before I went to London as the head of the delegation for those games in 2012. I published a book titled Seoul to Beijing, which talks to things that people wouldn't know about unless they were there in the intimate position that I was in. It's what happens behind the scenes, the problems that we work through, and far less on who won which medal. I'm currently, of course, still involved in sports in a big way because I'm chairman of the government's National Sport Museum Development Committee, and we're still to really get some action on that. And for all my sins in sports, I'm now the chairman of the Professional Football Association, which runs the Premier League. That's my current involvement in sport, and of course I went on to sit on a number of Caribbean sporting bodies as a result of my vice presidency. I was the director of the Central American and Caribbean Games. I was the director of the Caribbean Association of National Olympic Committees, and what is not widely known, I'm still a director of KNOC Broadcasting Inc., which was the body that brought the Rio Olympics to the region in 2016. I'm twice married. So in my very first marriage, my former wife unfortunately died 2 years ago, but I've been in a new marriage, pretty stable marriage, since 2003. And my first marriage produced 2 children, and my current marriage has produced 2 beautiful girls, one in high school and one in prep school. They have been a tower of strength to me consistently. I have quite often during my Olympic years had to leave them for extended periods of time, and I don't think anybody is happy with that. I wasn't, they weren't. But the bottom line is that they understood And they certainly have been a real tower of strength to me in terms of allowing me the opportunity to do what I have done. And I'm still heavily involved in sports, and I feel quite often guilty leaving home or not getting home in time because I know I have my responsibilities there. I'm never, ever, ever, ever not remembered that I have a primary responsibility to my family. As a matter of fact, all my children have become involved in sports in a big way. All right. Karen, my oldest daughter, got to the point where she was Caribbean champion in squash, and my two younger girls now are both big swimmers in the Tornadoes Club. My current wife has been with the organization for this is their 26th year. She got into market research right after graduating from university and been with the organization for 26 years. So I've been stepping back, a little bit, not out of there by any means. And she's actually running the company day to day, and I really owe a lot to her for taking the baton, so to speak, and really running the organization in a very efficient way that allows me, first of all, the opportunity to do what I do in terms of lectures and in terms of the involvement in sports, and that to me is immeasurable. Wealth to me is, to a large extent, what you feel inside of you and what you can contribute to society. And to me, I feel a very rich person by virtue of the contribution I make through sports and through my political polling work. I don't measure wealth in terms of how much money you have, but certainly in terms of who you are and what you contribute to society.
Advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
The Jamaica Stock Exchange wishes to help to develop the social sector. To that end, they have formed the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, which is a safe, efficient, and transparent platform that aims to promote social projects that build Jamaica and will inure to the benefit of all persons living in the country.
The Jamaica Stock Exchange is a company that encourages and mobilizes capital for the main market. And that is the market that is not the social sector. Now, the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange is really geared towards the social sector to help to solve social problems in the field of health, education, about children, environment. Those are some of the things that we consider social problems. And so it is to mobilize the capital, allow persons who have a desire to invest in a social good, to invest in the social stock exchange. It is designed in two parts. In phase one, where we look at social investment, and phase two, where we look at social impact investment. Now, in phase one, really what we are saying is it is donation. An organization will have a social issue and design it into a project or a program and invite Jamaicans or persons within the diaspora or the entire world to fund this program. Now in phase two, you're going to get a return on investment which is not social. You will be getting shares, natural shares, as you would get if you invested in the Jamaica Stock Exchange. And what you'll get is a return on capital, which is possibly dividend or an appreciation in that share. The Jamaica Social Stock Exchange does more than ask for the funding of these programs, but goes beyond that in terms of monitoring, ensuring that these programs are meeting the targets and the reason for them to have asked for funding in the first place. When we look at this new sector, it is important because holistically, if you do not look on the social sector, you do not improve the other sectors. We want to encourage all businesses in Jamaica to have a corporate social responsibility because it is good for encouraging and the growth and development of businesses.
Violence is bad. Violence against our innocent little children is terrible. Pretending not to notice when we know or suspect that a child is suffering is awful and morally wrong. In the words of the great Nelson Mandela, there can be no keener realization of a nation's soul than the way in which it treats its children. Think about that for a second. I have a voice. It's one of my gifts. I intend to use it on behalf of our children. No more violence against our children. Make your move to stop violence against our children right now. No more. No more. No more.
The Starkey Herring Foundation was founded in 1984 by William Austin, who realized his true calling was to help people hear. As the philanthropic arm of Starkey Hearing Technologies, the foundation provides hearing healthcare to people who are unable to afford it. The foundation has been able to make an impact around the world with the help of thousands of volunteers and supporters. The foundation has now reached the Caribbean, most recently Jamaica. Members of the Starkey Herring Foundation team, in collaboration with the Digicel Foundation, recently went on a 3-day mission at the Chinese Benevolent Association aimed at providing over 500 Jamaicans with custom hearing aids.
The whole focus for Starkey Hearing Foundation is we have 52 sustainable programs currently worldwide, and the Caribbean region was untouched for them in some way, shape or form. And so this whole year we've been focusing on getting persons from the region, the Caribbean region, involved in our programs, allowing persons in islands around the region to receive hearing health care through the Starkey Hearing Foundation. We've been rolling out what we call phase 1s, phase 2s in different parts of the region. We're here in Jamaica today, but we've been to Guyana, we've been to Trinidad and Tobago, we've done St. Kitts Nevis, we've also done Dominica, we've been to St. Croix, US Virgin Islands as well. We are ensuring that the Caribbean region gets the type of hearing health care that is deserving unto them.
Several key team members took part in this mission. One such member is the International Materials Manager, Kevin Ramos.
So what I do as International Materials Manager is I get all materials ready for phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, depending on where we're sending them out into the world. So our home base is out of Minnesota. So what I do when I'm in the office is I acquire the materials and then send them out from our home base in Minnesota. When I'm not in the office, it depends on what phase we're in. Whether it be a phase 1 like we're in today, I take impressions. Phase 2, I help our founder, Bill Austin, fit hearing aids and mold. Whether it be phase 3, I do an aftercare type of role. So it really depends on which phase we're on. But I can do it all.
Another member of the team is the International Development Director, Kirk Richards.
As the International Development Director, what I do is go around the Caribbean and work with the Ministry of Health or the Department of Health in all the regions that are within the Caribbean to identify patients that can use our services. And our services is providing hearing healthcare to those who can't afford it. So far we've worked with the Ministry of Health in St. Lucia, Guyana, Trinidad, as well as Dominica, St. Kitts and Nevis, and also St. Croix. Now we're in Jamaica working with the Ministry of Health and also the Jamaica Association for the Deaf, along with the Council for Senior Citizens, along with the Council for Persons with Disabilities. So we've developed a relationship in Jamaica where we've also identified patients that are in need of our services.
The process of creating these custom hearing aids happens in several phases.
End of May we were here, we just did a phase 1 training where we trained nurses from the Ministry of Health as well as from the other organizations to understand the flow or the work that we do. And in so doing, we also identified 100 patients that were pre-selected that received our services that time around. Now we're here doing a phase 1 where we've identified about 650 patients that will be requiring our services with hearing health care.
Today we are happy to be in Jamaica. Can't you tell? I'm Jamaican, right? And we've been enjoying moving through the region, providing hearing healthcare through Starkey Hearing Foundation. But today in Jamaica, we are doing what we call our phase 1. This is a 4-phase program that we have, community-based program that we offer, right? And so the phase 1 is when we actually have the patients coming in, getting their ear impressions done so that they can get custom molds, and we return with these molds after we've sent them off to the factory for what we call our phase 2, and that is where we actually bring back the molds and the hearing aids and fit the patients to ensure that they have the right sound, they get the right volumes and the right sound for them to be fit. So today, phase 1 is the impressions, and you can see around here, you'll see where the patients are being they actually sit down and they're pumping the otoform in the air. That dries, take it out, put it in the patient bag, they have their ID, that's shipped off, sent to the factory, send them back. The phase 2 process will actually happen before 2017 is over. We are scheduled to be back here early December. So we'll be here early December. These patients will be contacted because we have what is called, in our phase 3, that is part of what's called the aftercare. So in our aftercare, we contact, because all these patients we have in our database. After today, we'd have all patients in our database. So we'll contact these patients and say, okay, it's time for you to come to get your custom molds, and then it's time for you to get fitted for your hearing aid. And that's when you see the magic. So today we're just checking and making sure everybody's ears, we're getting their molds and stuff, but then in December the magic happens. That's when someone gets to hear for the first time, or somebody gets an opportunity at better hearing health care.
Coming up on Caring Hands.
When we heard of the possibility to work with Starkey Foundation, where they were, one, doing testing, providing health solutions, as well as providing the hearing aids themselves, for us, easy, had to.
As a teacher for over 8 years, we need to realize that the children are our future. We need to love them, appreciate and respect our children. No more violence against children. No more!
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
For more than 30 years, the Starkey Hearing Foundation has been spreading hearing healthcare across the globe, having visited more than 100 countries to date. Among the thousands of volunteers are celebrities who have donated their time and resources to the work of the foundation. The technology used to create the hearing aids is unique to the foundation.
What we do is a wide frequency audibility test, which is specific to the Starkey Hearing Foundation, and that allows us to scale this, and it's a simple scalable type of program. And so to see the patients come out this morning in need was what overwhelmed me, and I was happy to be here knowing very well that people were coming to see how they can help their hearing better. And the thing with hearing healthcare is obviously this is the opportunity for someone to possibly mainstream into society at a different, in a much better position. The opportunity to have a job because they're able to communicate, and we take hearing for granted. It's one of those things that you can't see. So someone is deaf, you don't know, or someone has a hearing impairment, it's not visible to the eye. So sometimes we leave persons behind in regards to hearing healthcare, anything to do with loss of hearing. Hearing is for old people. So many people came through different age groups. So it was really overwhelming to see the amount of persons that came out today, and we were happy to be here, and we'll be here again. And this is an actual continuous model for our program, so it doesn't end this year. So it's not a one-off where we come into the country, give out some hearing aids and leave.
The foundation has formed partnerships with several international foundations over the years. In Jamaica, one major foundation that has collaborated with the Starkey Hearing Foundation on this mission is the Digicel Foundation.
Well, Starkey reached out to us because they wanted to do some work here in Jamaica, and they were looking for valuable partnerships. And so they approached us. And for us, it was, I think, easy, because we have been looking for ways that we can really work with the special needs community here in Jamaica. And a big problem is providing assistive aids for persons who either are completely disabled or really just need assistance for them to become more included. And so when we heard of the possibility to work with Starkey Foundation, where they were, one, doing testing, providing health solutions, as well as providing the hearing aids themselves, for us, easy, had to.
The Chinese Benevolent Association also came on board, giving the Starkey Hearing Foundation their full support.
CBA got on board when Tamian, the coordinator for Starkey Foundation, contacted us and was in a dilemma in terms of finding a location for this occasion. And when she contacted us, I told her that I will just check the board, because more than likely we'll come on board and assist. The board didn't take too long in terms of okaying that they could come and use the facility here. And basically we try to put out everything at their disposal in order to make this occasion quite comfortable for them and the rest of the people that comes here for the testing.
In an effort to provide better hearing healthcare, one of the tasks undertaken by the volunteers is doing thorough checks of the ears to determine what is causing hearing issues, as there are cases where individuals may not actually need hearing aids.
We were working with Starkey around the entire coordination of the effort. But in addition to the impressions, what they're also doing is looking at screening, looking at cleaning of their ears, because sometimes persons have hearing challenges, but unfortunately, it's not because they really have a development issue. It's because they need to have their ears cleaned, because unfortunately there might be buildup or other issues. And so that is also something that we have to think about. It's a serious health issue. How do we empower persons to take the necessary practices that they need to do to have good ear health? And so with Starkey, we've been looking at coordinating the best efforts so that we can reach as many people as possible. And then the second phase now is, of course, when they come back, for those persons who actually need hearing aids, the fantastic, great opportunity of having these persons get hearing aids so they can hear and function normally.
Coming up on Caring Hands.
I know a lot of Jamaicans will benefit because of the Starkey Foundation. And it's a very good thing that I think all Jamaica will be proud of, and especially CBA, who without a doubt will accommodate them anytime.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On point, dissecting the issues. Offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On Point, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
The business community has suffered tremendously due to extortion. Some have not just lost their businesses, their jobs, but lost their lives. This is extremely impactful to the growth of our country and to the progress of our people. We are our brother's keeper. Let's put a stop to this. No more use of force. No more use of fear. No more extortion. No more.
Patients who benefit from the Starkey Hearing Foundation will receive continuous support from local health officials, as steps were taken to ensure that they will be well taken care of.
We trained some nurses, aides, and community service workers and volunteers to understand how we do our aftercare services so that these patients will be taken care of through the aftercare program. So after they leave, people will be calling them, check up on them when the hearing aids come. Do you need more batteries? Are the molds hurting you? Whatever it is, pull their information and they'll be contacted to ensure that they are taken care of in aftercare.
The team is satisfied that the first phase of this mission was successful, as the turnout was overwhelming and their services were well received.
So what stood out for me today was just how many patients came out this morning wanting to be, taken care of, wanted to get better hearing health care. And just being Jamaican, I didn't realize how much there is a need for the hearing health care, for that type of support that we are offering today. Patients who would not have access to this kind of opportunity.
It's overwhelming. I didn't believe that there could be so many people before 7 a.m. When I came here, the place was full. And I never knew it was so many people without them advertising. And just to come and see so many people on the first day, well, up till 1 o'clock, we had a good amount of people in the compound. So I think it's a very good thing that Starkey had put on, and the CBA was so willing to come and assist.
What stood out for me is really the breadth of the issue. Seeing young persons, seeing children in their school uniforms, seeing the elderly. It really shows that we have to be very mindful of who are vulnerable and look out for those persons. Be mindful about what impacts they're having in their lives and see how we can help. The numbers that come out really shows the need that exists. And if you look, you can see young persons, old persons, persons who are born with disabilities, persons who've developed hearing issues over their lifetime, and that really shows the depth and the width of the problem in Jamaica. And so therefore, we want to see how we can provide a solution to what many persons and many Jamaicans are faced with daily.
I know a lot of Jamaicans will benefit because of the Starkey Foundation. And it's a very good thing that I think all Jamaica will be proud of, and especially CBA, who without a doubt will accommodate them anytime. All the volunteers are well prepared for this occasion as well, as I can see, you know, how they're operating. And things are running smoothly, and no doubt about it, everybody will get through in a short time.
All the elements that came together to make this mission possible could not have happened without partnerships, and the Starkey Hearing Foundation is very grateful for those who have come on board to assist.
Today would not have been possible had it not been for our partners on the ground. You know, it takes a lot for us to come into the country and bring supplies and fly the team in from overseas. I mean, it's a really major production, lots of logistics. And so today we're so grateful that we would have had partners who would have seen the vision, you know, like the Giselle Foundation, who assisted us with a lot of the costs that we had, you know, for this mission. They supported us with, you know, today. With thanks, of course, to the JPS Foundation, you know, assisting with the patient food. So the patients came today. They sat through like a clinic style, you know. We went through from morning till afternoon, and they were fed thanks to the Jamaica Public Service Foundation. I want to thank also the CBA for, you know, heavily discounting this venue and allowing us to use the premises for 3 days, almost at a minimal cost, and that was important to us as well. So, I mean, with all the partners involved, we really have the opportunity to serve our patients, and together we are able to do so much more. In the words of our founders, you know, our founder Bill Austin says that, you know, alone you can do so much, but together we can do way more, you know. And so, I mean, that's me summing up what he says. But for sure, that it's really teamwork today. So apart from the Starkey Hearing Foundation being here today, you know, we thank our partners, the Giselle Foundation, for sure, for handling loads of our costs and the other ones that have been helpful, you know.
Seeing the turnout today has been amazing. You know, as always, you know, with registration, there's always a big craziness when you get here and everybody's out here early. But we've managed to get everybody checked in. Right now, we're probably less than about 30 patients outside waiting to see us. So the majority of everybody is inside. So we're a little bit backed up with the different stations. So all hands on deck right now as we go through and get things set up. We're happy about the turnout that we've seen today, and really looking forward to the relationships that we're forming, especially with Digicel. The Digicel Foundation has been very instrumental in what we're doing, and we really look forward to what we'll be doing in the future. Big thank you to the Ministry of Health for helping us with volunteers and nurses that are here today to participate in the mission. Patients have also come through the Jamaica Association for the Deaf, so volunteers coming from there as well. Also, thank you to the Caribbean Hearing Center, which Dr. Beavers is in charge of. You know, she's very instrumental in helping us today. And as we go through, we're looking forward to continue working relationship and partnership with the different organizations that are going to help this program succeed. You know, the only way we can make this program sustainable is through the resources and the partnership of the local partners we have on the ground. Definitely looking forward for what the future holds for Jamaica and for the Starkey Hearing Foundation as we partnership to bring better hearing to the people of Jamaica.
I wanted to be an educator because I believe that education is the most powerful weapon that can change the world.
My dreams and aspiration is to one day become an entrepreneur where I can employ other persons and help to build the country.
I wanted to go into development. I wanted to help people become better versions of themselves. Growing up, I saw a lot of violence, I saw a lot of crime, I saw a lot of poverty. The challenges are so many. The first one that comes to mind is the level of youth unemployment that's here.
Challenges that exist here in West Prospect Bogwalk are lack of awareness for educational opportunities or job opportunities.
Not many got the chance to do CXC or graduate from the secondary level. So that's a major setback for the people living in the community.
A way to alleviate this issue is training programs.
They need more opportunities, like to go back to school to get themselves a certificate so they can be able to work and create employment for themselves and their family.
Push more entrepreneurship opportunity, encourage these youths to be creative and innovative in what they do. Give them startup capital to start their business. Invest more in the youth skills and talents.
The poverty reduction program is funded by the European Union, and it really is a program that focuses on the most vulnerable type of communities, making communities safer, making citizens more healthy, better access to education.
For European Union, investing in youth is an obvious choice. They are the future of the country. If we prepare them well, they will bring the change that Jamaica needs. That's why we invest in scholarships, internship, training in life skills and mentorship.
I received a tertiary scholarship from PRP to attend the University of Technology, Jamaica. It meant a lot to me because I realized that somebody else believed in me and somebody saw the potential that I have and somebody believed that I could actually achieve my goal.
I benefited by getting firstly an internship, and also they assisted my bachelor's degree financially. But critically, outside of the finances, the persons that were on the project, you know, the motivation that they provided, etc., it really provided a huge boost.
This is my third year at the MICO. This scholarship, it helped me to be able to focus only on my education here, because tertiary education is not cheap.
I was placed at ODPEM on the one-year internship program. It was really good. It was an opportunity for me to prove myself, to give myself a service, and also to gain experience in the working world, and to also provide for my family.
I plan to be an agent of change in my community by being a mentor, a leader, and a godfather for the youths growing up. Try to help them, teach them a trade.
You don't have to be rich to help. You don't have to achieve greatness to start. I contributed to my basic school by providing them with the necessary resources that they need, that I believe that in the long run, it will have a ripple effect on many, many persons.
Professionally, I manage the whole program, which is aimed at giving young persons the opportunity to, you know, do what I did, basically, to get their foot inside an organization. Additionally, I also have a little small business that I try to employ young persons to learn a skill, etc.
When you're persistent in life, when you're determined, when you're hungry for success, then you'll be able to accomplish and achieve anything that you want.
It has changed hundreds and hundreds of lives. Not just my life, my family lives, my friends' lives, etc. I want to just urge everyone looking on to continue these social programs. These are the solutions to the many ills that we face as a society and as a country and even as a world. So thank you, and I challenge you, continue it. It's needed.